So welcome to another Monday's live stream where we're going to be talking about conversation starters for social media. Now, I'm Bex from Social Media Executive, and I train businesses how to effectively use social media to generate more business inquiries. And this live stream is brought to you as part of the Social Flock. We have a group that supports our members to create compelling and consistent social media content. So today we're going to be looking at conversation starters. So again, if you're watching this live, please do say hello, join the chat. We'd love to see you. So why are conversation starters important? Well, the reason we're looking at conversation starters is because when you create a social media post, you need engagement on that post. And the best type of engagement is comments. Basically, when you create a post, it only goes to a proportion of your followers' newsfeed. So you may never actually see that post. However, if basically it goes out to 5% of your followers' newsfeeds, they might see that post. And if those followers then like and comment on those posts, then we're creating engagement, and that social media platform will send it to more of your followers. And if they like and engage, it will send it to more. So it has this ripple effect, and that's how you increase the visibility of your posts. If nobody likes or comments on it, that social media platform will not share that post any further. Okay, so the beauty about creating social media conversation starters is that we're encouraging people to put questions and answer questions on our posts. So we're encouraging comments. So they're actually a really great way to increase the reach of your posts. Okay. But also they're a fantastic way to understand your audience, to get to know your audience, to understand what they like, to gauge feedback on your products and services. So conversation starters on social media are absolutely phenomenal. So I'm going to share a few conversation starters today, but there are some do's and don'ts that I want to talk about as well, because we do want to think about it a little bit more strategically rather than just asking questions for the sake of asking questions. Okay. So my first tip is, when we're looking at conversation starters, is we're going to be looking at asking questions, basically. Creating a post that asks a question on your social media platform. Now, the first thing to do is make sure that you actually ask an open-ended question. So what I mean by that is you don't ask a question that just has an answer of yes or no. Do you like chocolate? Yes, no. We want to ask an open-ended question which could have a number of different answers under it, okay? And I'm going to be giving you some examples of these in a minute. We also want to make them a little bit different. We see so many different questions floating around social media. They're a bit the bog standard type of questions, things like, are you a dog person or a cat person? That sort of thing. They're a bit bog standard, but they're not really relevant to our businesses necessarily. Okay. So we need to make them relevant to our business. So think about when we've been in the Social Flock in January, we're thinking about our business objectives. Think about your business objectives for your social media. How can you get conversation starters going that are actually going to help you with your business objectives, give you some insights into your customers, and teach you some things that were going to help your social media grow in the future. So it's got to be relevant to your business. And I'm going to be showing you two different examples in this live stream. An example of a B2B business, a business to business, and also some questions if you're a B2C business as well. So a business to consumer. So again, stay put, because we're going to be showing you some more examples. Again, any questions, just post them in the chat below. Even if you're watching this on catch up, I will come back to them. And if you are watching, please do give us a thumbs up, because that's engagement. It will help this video go further. Okay, so we need to make these questions quick and easy to answer, because if they're a bit too difficult and a bit too convoluted and your followers need to think about it a bit too much. They haven't got time. They just want something that's quick and easy to answer. So make sure they're quick and easy, okay? It's also got to resonate with your target audience. There's no point asking them a question, I don't know, about astrophysics if they're really not interested in astrophysics, okay? So keep them simple, but also keep them relevant. You know your audience, so please do think about how you can make it relevant to your audience, how you can make it relevant to the people you are hoping to attract on your social media, potential clients, potential new business, okay? Now, what you've got to think about as well is that everybody's audience is different. So what works well, what question works well for some people might not necessarily work well for others, okay? So some of the questions I'm going to be talking about today that you can use, you need to adapt them for your sector, really, okay? So we could ask some generic questions on your social media that anyone could answer, and they could be quite simple, okay? So things like, I've written some down here, but things like, what have you created that you're most proud of? Now, people are going to resonate with that. We've all achieved something in our lives, however small. So hopefully that might generate a few questions, okay? You could do, what do you love most about what you do? Why is it what you do? Why do you work where you work? What is it that you love about that? So you could ask questions simply like that. You could ask daft questions as well, just to have a bit of fun, potentially what platform you're on. So for example, if you're on Facebook, it's a bit more informal. You could just say, oh, we're getting some treats for the staff on Friday. Should we buy them cakes? Or should we buy them donuts? Or have you got any other suggestions? Again, something that people can easily chip into, okay? We could also ask questions, which again is quite useful, is, tell us something, is there anything that you never ever seem to get finished? Yeah? Is there that one job that never seems to get done? What is it? Again, something that we can probably all resonate with. So these are questions that are quite open-ended and probably could reflect anybody. However, we want questions really that are going to resonate specifically with your target audience. So I've got two examples here. Okay. Again, if you've got questions, I'll put them in the chat. Or if you've got examples of questions that we could use, do put them in the chat as well. We'd love to see them. This is, there's loads of ideas, but I'm going to give you two. So first of all, let's assume we're a food company. And I'm going with a food company today because we've had a couple of more recent members into the social flock who are in the food and drink sector. So I thought I'd do a food example. So I would ask questions like, let's assume we're creating a new product and it's a new dessert and you were thinking about some of the ingredients you were putting in and you wanted it to stand out. You could ask questions such as, what would you think if we added chili to our desserts? Because that's a bit of an unusual one, isn't it? We might not be interested in adding chili to our desserts or not, but let's see if our customers are interested in that. Do they like it? Do they not? Are they more adventurous or do they want to go more down the traditional recipes that you might see in desserts? You could also ask questions about your packaging. And again, this could go from any sector. Would you prefer packaging from a locally sourced company, or would you prefer it if our packaging was made 100% from recycled materials? Again, we're understanding what's driving our customers to potentially buy our products. Which would they prefer? If we go down the route of what our customers prefer, then that might increase our sales. A really, really simple one, particularly if you're in the food sector, you could ask, how do you like your chips? Everybody has different preferences to chips. Most people eat chips and it's food related. You can get an idea of what type of customers that follow you, what their tastes are. So again, that's a really good example of sort of a food company, and there are loads of different questions you could ask that relate to those. But what if you're a service-based industry in the financial sector, for example, which everyone's just like, but we're working in the finance sector, it's really difficult to think of questions. Well, it's really not. You just need to get into the heads of your customers and think about what sort of questions would your customers have, or what sort of opinions do your customers have that they'd like to share on social media. So if I was in the financial sector, I could ask questions such as what sort of areas of accounting do you struggle with most? Because most businesses, all their clients are going to have to do accounting at some point in time. So which is the area that they struggle with most? And that's fantastic insights, because once you understand what your audience struggles with the most, you can then create loads of social media posts answering those questions and helping them out with those problems. You could think about, name an area where you can save tax for your business. Now, that's a really interesting one, because loads of people have different ways of saving tax. But actually, if people start commenting on your posts about outdated tax efficiencies, then actually that's your opportunity to go in there and support them and help them put them on the right track. So again, a really good question to understand what your audience understands. You could ask simple questions like, do you do your accounting on your mobile phone or on your PC? Understanding what your clients are like and where they tend to use and do most of their work. Is it on the mobile phone or is it on the PC? Because these days, more and more businesses are doing much more things on their mobile phone. So these are sort of questions that you can ask that are specifically sector specific. So what I want you to do when you're thinking about these sort of questions, again, we have some really, really interesting questions that come up in the social flock and different conversation starters that we use there in our private Facebook group, which is great. And I'll share more questions in the group this week as well that all the members can use. But do have a think about your customer, who you want to attract on your social media, and what questions and conversation starters are going to help you to achieve what you want to achieve. And that might be to grow more followers, or it might be to give you insights into your business services. So those are a few ideas of conversation starters that I'd suggest you have a look at. If you've got ideas for great conversation starters that have worked really well in your business, please do put them in the comments. Would love to hear them, and it helps everybody. The most important thing is just do a bit of research and be quite creative and keep it simple. It's always got to get simple. So I hope you've enjoyed this live stream. Please do give us a thumbs up if that's giving you a bit of inspiration for some conversation starters. Again, please do follow me if you're watching this on YouTube, if you're watching this on LinkedIn or on Facebook. Please do give my pages a follow, where I share lots of tips and advice on social media every week. Now, I won't be live next week, but I will be live the week after with Kate Fox. I've got a great guest, and we're going to be talking about consistency on social media. So please join us live again at 12:30, 2 weeks on Monday, 2 weeks today. And we'll be talking about why consistency is so important on social media. Have a great week, everybody. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Bye.